Introduce the person who is going to become our leader and the next Premier of Ontario, Frank Klees.
Good afternoon. What a great afternoon this is. And before I forget, I want to do the most important thing that I could possibly do at any public event, and that's introduce my wife, Jane. And somewhere around here is my son, Rob. Unless he's already, he's probably working. There he is. He's working over there doing some barbecuing. And my daughter, Alyssa, is unfortunately not able to be here. She lives in Chicago. And I've been trying to repatriate her for the last number of years. And maybe I'll have a real opportunity to do that after 2011. And when she really has confidence and can have confidence in the future of this province. I want to thank you all for your support. I know that some of you here are here to kick the tires, and that's good, because you haven't made your decision yet about who you're going to support for leader. But you have eaten our hamburgers, and you've had a drink on us, so there should be some obligation on your part. I know you need more reason than that, and hopefully we'll give it to you. If not today, then before the vote. I have had just an absolutely exhilarating few weeks on this campaign, and it gets better every day. I am leaving a little bit early today. We have an event in Brampton that I have to get to, and then I have to catch a flight to Thunder Bay, and we'll be spending the day there. To give you a sense of how things have been going, we've been crossing and crisscrossing the province for the last number of weeks during this campaign, often starting off with a 7:30 breakfast meeting and ending up at 11 o'clock at night in a different part of the province doing something else. But the message has been very, very consistent. I'd like to share it with you. Those of you who have heard it will understand one thing, and that is that I'm consistent in my message. Those of you who haven't, I never get tired of telling it. And so brace yourself. It's about a 45-minute speech. In all seriousness, it actually doesn't take an awful lot of time for me to talk about why I'm running in this race. We have a very important decision to make as a province, and as John said earlier, in my opinion, this is much more than leading our province. Or rather our party. This is really about who is going to lead our province for many years to come following the next election. I'm running for the leadership of our party because I believe that notwithstanding my good friends who are running in this leadership as well, all three of them are friends. I consider them friends. They have excellent character, have a great deal of talent, and have much to give to our party and to our province. But I do believe that I'm uniquely qualified in a number of ways. If I didn't believe that, I'd be voting for one of them. But I'm not. I believe that my 25 years of business experience before I was elected to government is absolutely critical in these tough economic times. I believe that a leader of our party, as well as the Premier of our province, must have an understanding of the real world of business to be able to cope with the economic challenges that we have. I bring 25 years of real life business experience. I know what it's like to build a business, to manage a business, and to give guidance and leadership to a business during good as well as tough economic times. And I think as Premier, it's important that when you get economic advice, that you have the ability to measure that advice that you're getting against your real life experiences and to know whether or not. Now, one of the things that we have to do is to understand the effects of wind. And in the real world, you learn that when the wind blows and you don't have a good strong foundation, that you're going to fall. And so, you see, if you don't have that experience, you wouldn't know that. And what we're going to have to do the next time, whoever's organizing these events, is either make sure the wind doesn't blow, or we've got a good solid foundation. Now, I have a good solid foundation in business. You see, that was all set up so that I could actually segue into that. I believe that my foundation in business is preparing me and has prepared me well for the job of leading our province. That is something, quite frankly, that none of the other three candidates in this race have. I believe that that experience of dealing with government regulation, of dealing with government challenges in business, gives me a sense of knowing what it is that we have to change about government to ensure that businesses in this province can prosper, that we stop the drain of manufacturing jobs, which now stands at about 350,000, to reverse that trend and in fact allow our businesses to not only retain those jobs, but to actually be able to grow. I do have 14 years of experience in government as an MPP as well as a cabinet minister. I know what it is about government that works, and perhaps equally as important, I know what it is about government that doesn't work and that has to be fixed. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity of doing that. I also have 30-some years of experience in the trenches of our party. And you know, I tell you, if there's anything that I'm proud of over the last number of years since I've been involved in politics, it's the legacy that I have left for our party concerning how we do business, or should be doing business, should be doing business in terms of developing policy. In 1991, I had the privilege of taking to the floor of the annual general meeting of our party a constitutional amendment that was a 3-page amendment that requires our party to develop policy based on a grassroots process of policy advisory councils. That no policy should be in the platform of our party that has not been developed by you, the members of the party, that has not been vetted by you, the members of our party, and that has not been endorsed by the membership of our party. And you know, the other three candidates can talk about that process. I am the one who brought it to the floor of our annual general meeting in 1991 and convinced the members of our party to entrench that as a constitutional amendment so that it has been there since then and is still there now. And my friends, that was the process that we followed to develop the common sense revolution. And if you recall, in 1995, when I and other candidates knocked on doors to talk to people about the policies contained in that policy document, it resonated with people. And you know why? Because the policies themselves came from the people. And people understood that it was the right thing to do. And the reason that we had surprises in this last campaign is because that process of developing policy from the ground up was not followed. And that's why not only were members of our party surprised by some of the provisions in that policy platform, but the general public resisted and resented it as well. And that will never happen under my leadership as leader of our party.